the darkest corners of the podcast dungeon, you have come across another goddamn horror podcast with Graham Fay, Jonas Barnes, and Ryan Danley.
Welcome, everybody, to yet another goddamn horror podcast. I am one of your hosts. I am Ryan Danley, coming to you solo today. I decided I didn't want any of the New Yorkers on our show. You know what I mean? Like, they're in New York, like, eating pizza, talking about Subway stuff or whatever. Actually, no, we just ended up on a little bit of different schedule because we're going to get right into it today. Our guest is coming to you from Brighton, England, which is... I love England, so I'm excited about this. And actually, England is after the United States, our second biggest. The UK is second biggest listening audience. So we're excited about that. We're going to welcome to the show star of the really great movie that's making the fest circuit right now. Welcome to the show, Meghan Adara. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be on.
Well, we're excited. We're excited to have you. So I was hit up by your director to check out this cool film called The Cellar that came out, and it is absolutely fantastic. It's actually, like, for being an independent film, it's very well put together. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we love it. We are a big independent film focused podcast. It's kind of our deal. We love the film, but of all levels of independent film, and that can vary. But this is very put together, very well. Do you want to give a kind of a breakdown of The Cellar?
Yeah, sure.
What the story is?
Yeah. So it's about a girl called Abigail, and she comes from like a rough background and goes to find community, and she finds community by going to a church and, you know, relating to people around her and listening to these, you know, people's stories, and basically going there for refuge and, you know, to feel part of a community. And one day when she goes to the church, she then wakes up imprisoned underground in a cellar, with no idea of how she got there, why she's there, where she is, and has to try and find her way out by facing her inner demons and the external demons that she comes across. So it's like very psychological as well. There's sci-fi mixed in with it, and then obviously the general horror. So yeah, it's a mixture of different genres, which I don't think's really been done before. So that's a nice, unique little thing about our indie film. And yeah, that's The Cellar. I don't want to give away too much.
No, and that's perfect. I mean, it's like basically you're going to like these sort of AA meetings, and then all things go real south, and
real quick.
Yep, real quick. And what I love about it is that you are right. It really does start off as like almost like a suspense thriller. And you're kind of like, okay. And then kind of like when things move on, all of a sudden it goes into straight up horror. And then all of a sudden like sci-fi elements kick in. And it's really good because it's bleak. But it's also like but it's also like beautifully shot, and it's really interesting, and it kind of follows I'm a big fan of you know, like a lot of subtext in movies and a lot of like symbolism and things like that. And I think like what the movie's about and how it goes through and even how it ends, we're of course not going to give that away, but all kind of follows along this really kind of beautiful message of like, you know, trying to free ourselves from some darkness. And it's very well written, and it's honestly, like, and like, I know that you're my guest on the show, but your performance is really makes the movie what it is, like, because the movie's great and it's very well written, but you
Yes, yeah.
bring a lot of like heavy hitting
Mm,
energy to the movie. Now,
yeah.
I don't know how you prepare for a role like this, because
Mm,
like every scene you're super bummed. I would say, you know what I
but
mean? Like,
yeah,
and so like every scene you had to like get into that, like, like
yeah,
face that, like, oh my God,
yeah.
I'm trapped somewhere. How as an actor
Mm,
do you create, like, how do you get there?
yeah.
I recently did the lead in a little horror short recently, my
Oh,
claim to
nice.
fame, and I know having to get there is, and
Yeah.
I'm the villain, so I had to get that,
Oh, nice.
and I would be like nuts, and so like to get there, but that's for like a 15-minute movie. You did this for a full length feature. How was it
Yeah.
hard going there? Was it what is the process of that look?
So to prepare for the film, I asked Jamie for, some like little bit of a backstory based on the characters, see what he thought, see what he wanted me to bring to the character and what I could then bring myself. So I asked for those. He sent me some bullet points over, and then from there, I, created a whole backstory to the character, like created like a whole family unit, a whole friend
Oh,
unit.
well, nice.
Yeah, all this. I got a bit carried away, if I'm honest, but I really enjoyed it. So I did that, and then with the script, I did analysis on the themes. So, like, obviously, like love and drug addiction, alcohol addiction, cults, churches, all that stuff. So I did a lot of research into that, and then basically merged them together. But also, I think what I found also really important was having my own connection with Abigail,
Mm-hmm.
as a person. Being, even if I didn't agree with something she did, it was like, what would be my equivalent of what she's done, and
Sure.
why don't I agree with it, but why do I, feel for her in this situation?
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically bringing all that research and all that, all that characterization that I did on her together to bring the performance to life. And yeah, it was difficult at times because most of the time I'm on my own. There's no one that I'm acting with. I'm acting to things that aren't there. There's not a lot of dialogue in the film. So yeah, it was challenging, but on the on days when I had to do a crying scene, sometimes it can be really difficult to get into it, and you get really annoyed at yourself, and you're like, "Come on, you just need to like just get one tear out." But once you've started, you can't. In my experience, I can't then stop. If you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean.
Sure.
So once I was there, we were good to go. But yeah, it was difficult every now and then. But overall, I think because everyone was just so lovely and it was such a relaxed set, there wasn't any like pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that took the pressure off me to be like, we need to get this like done now.
Sure.
And everyone was just like super, understanding. And yeah, it was just really nice to work on.
No, and like you can kind of feel that from the, we were kind of talking before we started recording about how
Mm,
we're kind of in the era of kind directors, you know what I
yes.
mean, as opposed to
Correct.
directors that just
Yeah.
view actors as tools to get something
Yes.
done,
Yeah.
and I mean, and I think, honestly, I think that like the auteur director aspect of the 80s and 90s is sort of, the
Yeah.
ship has sort of sailed, and I think we're actually getting better performances out of people
Yeah.
by just like, yeah, this is probably hard, but I think comfortability for people creating can be really really good, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, screaming at Shelley Duvall did get
Yeah.
us The Shining, but but
Yeah.
did screw her up for the rest of her life. So you have to,
Yeah.
you have to balance these
Careful.
these
Yeah.
these situations. You won three different awards: a London Indie Award, an Independent Horror Movie Award for best actress. You really so I mean, like, it isn't just me like being a fan. Like, you really did a great job bringing it in, and I think that movies with like low dialogue and things like that
Yeah.
really show acting prowess. You know what I mean? Like, you really brought that.
Mm.
And so hats off to you for
Thank
killing
you.
it and carrying that movie. I don't want to say carried him back, because clearly the writing and the directing is absolutely
Yeah. No,
fantastic, but
100%. Yeah.
it would need somebody to walk into that role who could understand the pain to carry that through.
Yeah.
And I think like if you look at like a recent horror movie like Azrael that has zero
Mm.
dialogue in it,
Yeah.
and Samara Weaving is
Oh, yeah.
has to act in that whole
Yeah.
movie, and you're just like, look at this like dedication. It's like, that's
Yeah.
hard. That might be harder than remembering dialogue. You know what I mean? Like, because now I gotta provide dialogue with my face. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Because you can't fall back on using the dialogue to make if the audience didn't understand what was going on. Sometimes they're like, oh, I don't really know what happened, but the dialogue will maybe, someone will say something to make it make sense of what's just happened. Whereas obviously with that film and my film, there is no dialogue to fall back on, so you really
sure.
have to make sure that your physical acting is portraying what you need it to, so the audience understands what's going on. So yeah,
Exactly.
it's more draining, obviously physically and mentally, because you're putting so much energy and effort into this acting with no dialogue. But I think it's like it worked well.
Yes,
When I was when we were filming it, I was like, I just feel like I'm walking around a lot of tunnels and cellars. Like, are people gonna think that there's a lot of walking in this film? And Jamie was like, yeah, I'm starting to think that too. But it came out really well, and the way they edited it was like amazing. So yeah, I think it paid off.
it really did. Yeah, that is funny. You're like, this is a lot of walking. That's how I always
Yeah,
felt like if I was ever a zombie. I would be
yeah,
like, why are we walking? Like, I'm
yeah,
dead. Like, I can't
yeah. It was
can't.
literally like we do one take of like one scene, and I'm walking up the cellar, and then
Right.
the next point I'm walking back down the way I just came, and then the next bit I'm like walking towards the door, and I'm like, there's a lot of like walking in this in this film.
It's a lot of,
Is this going to
um,
be interesting?
but hey, the scenery is beautiful. Like, beyond the amazing performance that you offer, like, it is shot beautifully.
Yes.
Like, when the look in through the door and the light behind it with the mask and everything, like, it's
Mhm.
beautifully shot. Where and I of course, being American, we have very little that looks like that. And I do understand that in England there's a lot more
Yeah. Yeah.
stone. But what kind of actual place are you in? Like, what is
For
it?
that,
Yeah.
that
What's the
um
actual location?
so for that scene through the keyhole, and the red wallpaper like mansion was called oh my god, I can't, it was a B&B in Hassocks, I think,
Mm.
England. Yeah, not too far away from there. I can't remember. Oh, St Leonard's B&B, that was what it was called. And yeah, we had no idea. Like, only Jamie knew what it looked like. And we turned up to this like massive building, and we had to like knock on the door. And we had to wait outside for a while the person came to open the door. And when he came to the door, I'm not joking, he was like in a full like vicarage outfit. Like, he had
Wow.
this little like vicar like top on, and his like dress down to the floor, and I was like, oh my god, like, where have we come? Like, is this an actual like vicarage or something? And we walked in, and it was just amazing. Like, it was so like detailed everywhere. The rooms were insane. Like, some of the rooms we didn't film in, but they were like amazing. And we felt like walking around like you couldn't really like touch anything in case you broke something. Um,
Like a
and yeah,
museum.
yeah, the set was just insane. and it was massive. Like downstairs was literally just like another like little rabbit warren of like different areas that you can go in. Like it just continued for ages, and yeah, it was incredible to film in, and it looks amazing on film.
It really looks amazing. It is
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful,
Mm.
and like it's a character in and of itself. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
it is.
it really adds. So and then Jamie's direction is very
Yes.
good. So because it really shows off the that situation, and it creates like just like creates such a like a
Yeah.
dastardly. I don't even know. Like it's just like like I mean, I get that. Like if you're like like kidnapping people from AA meetings, you're probably a creep. But boy, did you find a creepy
Yes.
spot to keep people like like how that all came together for the
Yeah, it did. Yeah, because when we were filming, they're like, are they meant to think like these are different places, or are they meant to think that this is like one big place? And Jamie was just like, people can like interpret it however they
right,
want.
right,
So yeah, but obviously it does from how we filmed it and from how the scenes played out. I think apart from maybe the AA meeting, I think everybody does think that this is one big like
sure,
place. And it's just like goes on forever. That's what I think that's what Abigail would think as well.
totally.
So that's my interpretation, but yeah.
Um, not to give away too much, but was it hard to not hate the actor Neil James in real life, or because he's really hateable, and
Yeah,
like he does such a good job that
I
like I'm
know.
I'm watching it and I'm like, God, I would have a tough time not hating him. Like,
No, honestly, he scared me, like
yeah,
really did. So we knew of each other for a while.
mhm,
We have film friends, like connections, and we'd always like work with these people that we know and see each other on like Facebook or Instagram, but we'd never met each other, but we knew of each other. And I didn't even know that he was part of the film until the day we filmed in that like the mansion Airbnb, and
mhm,
he was there. And I remember feeling a little bit when I first saw him. I felt a little bit like starstruck because I was like, I know of him and I've never met him. And oh my god, he's like working on the film. Like oh my god, like this is the first time I've met Neil, and he's like such a lovely guy. Like I absolutely love him. We had such a great time on the after party from the premiere. We went and we
sure.
got a little bit too drunk. Um, and yeah, I just
Are you telling me people in England drink too much? Are you? Is that a?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But yeah, he's absolutely lovely. And everything that he plays, he absolutely nails it. And yeah, I just remember feeling like really like genuinely like, oh my god, like he is not acting like this is like this is like an inner like side of him. And yeah,
Sure.
he really, really creeped me out. And in one scene he had like black eye contact lenses in,
Hmm.
and he had to come up to me really closely and get in my face, and I was like genuinely like terrified, and I was like, please get away from me. And we had to shoot that a few times. But yeah, he's just an amazing actor,
Yeah.
and I'm so glad we had him part of the film because I really he does obviously bring us so much to the film, and I don't think it would be the same if someone else played him. Like he really did nail it.
Well, he has just enough like the straight guy sort of like creepy vibe to him. You know what I mean? Like he could be like your creepy, like overly friendly neighbor sort of vibe, and he brought that to it, which makes it like extra creepy. And it
Yeah.
was a really good balance to
Yes.
your to the energy that you brought. You guys are like because he seems very comfortable and very sure of himself in the situation,
Yeah.
and you feel you
Yes.
see
Yes.
you
And I
feel you seem so like
not.
like
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
sure, you know what I mean, which is how that would play out. But it was but both of you really bring a lot to that table, so it is
Thank you. Yeah.
it's really cool. So this movie is on the fest circuit now, and then do we
Yeah.
have is there any American festivals it's going to be in, or do you know that?
So I think maybe I think there's one coming up, a new one. Texas, it's in.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh, Jamie sent me. a message about it. It's in
Are you still there?
right, cool.
There we go.
um,
We used to not even be able to do this, and now we're on Zoom calls, and it's just the way.
yeah,
It's just
true.
it's just the way it is. So
Um, yes, so I was saying that the Cellar is screening at the San Antonio Horror Film Festival
awesome,
next month, I think.
cool.
Um, the Cellar's been in loads of film festivals in the US,
Sure.
including Zfest,
Mm-hmm.
Haunted Horror Film Fest
Mm-hmm.
in New York, um, some other ones, like there's so many, and then obviously different ones around the different countries.
Sure.
Um, so I think it's coming towards maybe the end of its festival circuit, but we were put into quite a few. Um, and it was at Horror on Sea in England in January. Um, and yeah, I can't
Awesome.
remember all of them. There were
No,
so
that's
many
good.
ones.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, and then it'll probably we will make sure to update all our listeners on when it hits wide release.
Yes,
Just for everybody.
we've got, yeah, I was just going to say we've got some deals with territories where it's going to be coming out.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so that is the US, England, Ireland, um, Scandinavia,
Cool.
Korea, Benelux or something,
Hmm.
and some other ones. I think we're going to get some other ones soon.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, they're the
It,
territories that we've got deals with at the moment.
it's a very, very good movie, so I can imagine that
Okay.
a lot of people really enjoying it. And it doing well in wide release. Specifically
Mm.
on good streaming services like Shutter, Screenbox,
Yes, yes,
etc.
yes.
I mean, because it is right in with that quality of film. And do you have you've been acting for a while? How many years?
Since eight, I think I started.
And then
Obviously, as an amateur, not professional.
sure.
Probably professional since maybe last 5 years.
Hmm.
Taking it not that I didn't take it seriously, but obviously upping my game a bit more. I think
Sure.
the more I got more confidence and built up my credits and built up the amount of work I've worked on, meeting new people. Obviously, I got more confident to do bigger roles and travel further afield for jobs. So yeah, it's really been within probably the last 5 years that I've really done it as a professional career, whereas before I just did little theatre group
Hmm.
things
Sure.
like a child, during summer holidays, and yeah, that's where I found my my love for acting at a theatre group, and kind of just went on there, and that's how I got to where I am now. So yeah, if it wasn't for theatre, I wouldn't be doing screen
Sure.
acting. I
And
probably wouldn't be doing acting at all.
sure, they say those one of the reasons that so many now like American
Mm,
roles of an American in a movie are filled by people from the UK or Australia or things like
yeah,
that, just downing an American accent, is because there's still theater going on. So
yeah,
many of our actors now come up through commercials
yeah, yeah,
and Nickelodeon stuff, and you know what I mean. That's how they build their credits, and
yeah,
unfortunately, it doesn't get that. It doesn't get what you gave to this role. You know what I mean? You can't be a kid in a commercial getting all of a sudden now being able to walk into a
yeah.
role
No,
where
yeah. Theatre really gives you the foundation for understanding what acting is and all the principles and learning
right.
about different practitioners. And in England, theatre is very much still at the forefront of basically every university, every drama school. Obviously, now there are places that you can just do screen acting if you wanted to. Um, but yeah, they always say if you can act in theatre, you can act on the screen. If you can't act in theatre, you can't really act
Sure.
on screen. which is, I think, a bit brutal, but I would say maybe I agree sometimes. But yeah,
There's no cool camera shots in the theater. You know what I mean? There's no ways to bump it up and make it look better. You have to emote, and you have
you
to.
have you have to be on your A game,
Yeah,
making sure that it's the same every single night and bring the same amount of energy. There is nowhere that
right.
you can hide and be like, oh no, let's do it again. Like, you've got a live audience there. So yeah, theatre is very much at the forefront of our teaching. So
Sure.
yeah.
I am a stand-up comedian, and as a stand-up comedian, like, I have nothing respect for theater,
Oh,
because I
nice.
mean I know how hard, like the jokes are great, but
Hmm.
being able to connect with an audience and being able to entertain is first and foremost, and like, and I mean, my first year, like, in comedy, we're struggling because I wasn't like an actor, and the more I got into like the acting element of it and emoting and speaking to the back of the
Yeah,
room and things like that. So when you bring that, like with American baseball, like, sometimes they're swinging the bat and they got like a heavy weight on it, so, and then when they get up to bat, their bat feels light. It's kind of, I feel like, what you do if you go from theater to the screen, like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like, I've had to really entertain the back row this
yeah.
entire time, and now I just get to, like, bring that energy into the camera, and, like, and that's
Yeah.
why, like, and you can see that in that performance that you gave.
Yeah, because when I started off in film, well, I had no like experience in like film at all. So like I got my first like short film, and it was like 60 pages long, and I was like, oh my God, like I've got to learn all these lines, and I've got to like do it in one take, and they're gonna have all these different cameras filming at the same time. And then when I got there, like, oh no, like we do one take, and then I was like, oh, it's just so much easier than I thought it was. I was going in like thinking it was just like another like theatre performance,
Right.
just with a camera there. So yeah, I guess acting on screen is a little bit less daunting, because you can make mistakes, obviously. But
And,
yeah,
well, right, and I mean, there's trade-offs. Like, you don't practice for 6 months before you do the
yeah,
actual, you know what I mean, and all of that. But, like, but the reality is like, yeah, you don't even really, you just need to be off book for the day. You don't need to
yeah,
be like off book for the whole, because then you can go home or go to your trailer or whatever and study what you need to
yeah,
do for the night. You know what I mean? It's,
yeah.
so, like, there's so much of, and that's really really impressive. And then you are also, I mean, and I think this is incredible, and I mean, it's worth bringing up that you're a cancer survivor, a leukemia survivor, and
Mhm.
and I think that it's like, sometimes I don't like bringing up things like that, because I don't want it to take away from, like, you know what I mean,
Mm.
to do. But, like, I think that it's really important for people out there who are struggling to know that, like look, like, life can be life, you know what I mean, like, that sort of thing, and now look where you are, you know what I mean, sort of speaking. It's really, it's a very hopeful thing, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, my childhood has been brutal. I was diagnosed, as you said, with leukemia at 10 months. Fact, no one knows this. You're going to be the first one to know. I've died 5 times, so I
Mm,
have 9 lives like a cat.
mm,
So that's pretty cool.
that is.
And I've had a heart transplant, which you can't notice. And yeah, during the filming of The Cellar, I was diagnosed with bladder cancer, and had half of my bladder removed during the filming of The Cellar. But yeah, I never let my health problems, dictate what I can and can't do. And I don't ever let it define me. I don't let it be my personality, because I think you're so much more than your health problems. Yeah, they're part of you and they make you who you are, but you're so much, I think, obviously for some people, my health issues are like really interesting, I think, to some
Hmm.
people, especially like the heart transplant. People say to me, oh my God, like I've never met someone who's had heart transplant. And to me, it's just normal. Um, but yeah, I never let it like define me or get in the way of what I want to do. Um, and I think, as you were saying earlier, sometimes you don't like bringing it up because you don't want them people to have a different perception about you.
Sure.
So I don't ever really mention it unless someone asks, because I don't want to go in and be like, oh, I've got a scar here. Like, is that okay for the scene? And then, them treat me differently and treat me, you know, like I'm a little bit like vulnerable and like they want to
Sure,
like cotton wool like
sure.
so can be like, oh no, you gotta like be nice with her, like she's had these health problems. Like I'd rather people know after they've met me and realize that yes, I've got these problems, but you know it's just a thing. You don't need to be tiptoeing around me. I'm pretty hardcore, which I think Jamie will agree with.
Sure.
Yeah, so
I
yeah.
and I mean, I think, I mean, I don't know how y'all are feeling in the UK, but America is at a very scary time right now. And I think, and the main reason I would love to, I like to bring up something like that is because it is a message of there is a, beyond it, you are absolutely fit, and it's not, and it isn't indicative of anything in your work, but it is nice to have some hope of like, look, people can, excuse me, people can struggle out there and still make fucking wicked awesome movies like The Cellar. So like, I mean, like it is it is cool and a testament to yeah, you are hardcore and I and like and thank you and thank you to any of the people that helped you not to make it to life six, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're great and so when we need that
That's out to Brick Street.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's like, so maybe you should just you can make a movie about that because that
that'd
is
be
for real.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I think
um
people advertise though, so maybe in the future.
right, right. Well, this is a lot of fun. I'm going to ask you a series of horror related questions because you are beyond just being a horror actor, you are a horror fan, which is kind of fun. So we have um, a series of questions. We call it the kill list. We used to call it the Sinister Six, but we didn't like that, so we just changed it to the kill list. So I'm going to ask. All right, first of all, Freddy or Jason?
Um, I'd say Freddie. He's like, because it's all in your like mind, isn't it? So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
fighting you right, and it's similar. I think in this case, it's similar to Abigail. So I'll go with
sure.
Freddie.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool, perfect.
yeah.
I fully feel you on that one. If you had to star in a remake of a movie, what movie would it be?
Oh, good question. Um, Probably. Have you heard of Insidious?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Uh, yes, I absolutely love that film. It was like one of the first horror films I watched. I remember being terrified. So I'd love to be in that film.
Awesome.
I don't know. I don't mind what role I play, even if I play one of the children.
Sure.
Yeah, that
I
film.
mean,
Yeah,
you can
terrified.
play the main role. You know what I mean? Like you could do
Yeah,
it.
change it to your feet.
Yeah. Um, excellent. Insidious is fantastic. If you could erase one movie from history, what would it be?
God. I don't know. I
That's
can't
a, that's
pick one.
our that's our most skipped question.
Yeah,
So you
I can't because I think each film has cemented like the film industry, the horror industry, and so I think if you took that film away, history wouldn't be the same, if you know what I mean.
no, absolutely.
Yeah, so no.
I choose the Rob Zombie Halloween movies because I think we could just do without them. Let's see. But I'm kind of a jerk. Um, uh, are aliens real?
Oh, um, I think so, but not in the way that they're portrayed on film and TV. I don't think they're
Sure.
these big tall things with massive heads, and
Mhm.
they could just be like an organism of some type, and that's alien to us.
Sure.
But yeah, I think they are, but not in the way that people expect them to be. Yeah.
Sure. All right. Midsummer or Hereditary?
Oh, Hereditary.
Oh, awesome.
Love it. Yeah.
But, all right. Last question. What is your favorite death scene in any movie?
Oh, oh my God, I can't think of any now. Um, I can't think of any. I'm
Okay,
so
that's okay.
sorry.
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. You can.
Terrible.
No, oh my God, you're completely. These are on the spot questions. This is anything. But anyways, you did an excellent. You killed it. Excellent job on the social six. Now we're gonna do some recommendations. My recommendation is if you have an opportunity to see the Cellar, please go out and see the Cellar. It is really good. My recommendation, my book recommendation, this is Handyman by Aaron Beauregard. This is his newest book, and it's absolutely fantastic. I'm just about done with it, and it's been a lot of fun. So give Aaron
Nice.
Beauregard's new book, Splatterpunk. So mind your trigger warnings, because it's like if you've ever read any of Aaron's other work, it is pretty. He pulls no punches. So now, you got anything you'd like to recommend? Any movies, music?
Obviously, The Cellar.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Also, my new horror feature, which I'm the lead of, it's in pre-production. It's called Amelia. It's another horror feature film. I won't give too much away. It's like a drama mixed with horror. There'll be more blood. Um, it will be more gory, more jump scares, a bit more sinister in like lighting and atmosphere. And yeah, I'm really excited for that. We're in pre-production at the moment, and I am doing all the social media. So you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok under like Amelia Horror Film. And yeah, that's really the only film that I want to shout out. Books. Don't really read a lot of
That's
books.
fine.
So yeah, I don't have a book recommendation.
No, you don't. You can recommend whatever. I sometimes recommend things like green onions and like cannellini
Oh,
beans
nice.
because, like, you know what I mean? Because that's delicious. So any recommendations you have, but Amelia, we will look out for it because that sounds
Nice.
absolutely
Um,
fantastic. And
we do have an Indiegogo.
okay,
Is up and running. There's 20 days left on it.
okay,
And yeah, you can have your company, in the credit. You can have a social media shout out. You can have a video message from Amelia herself, which is me. You can be on a missing persons poster if you so
cool.
wish. If you want to be in the film. Yeah, so have a look at it because we've got lots of different perks
Oh,
available.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Love that. I want all of those things. Because I need all the attention. So that is very, very cool. Thank you so much for joining us today,
Okay,
Megan.
thank you so much for.
Yeah, and thanks so much for doing what you do and bringing it. And if anybody has a chance to check out these movies, you really need to. You're going to be really excited. It's what independent horror is all about. So thank you. And thank you to all our listeners. We do have a Patreon. Please go to AGHP 666 and you will find our Patreon. Please go check it out. Graham is not here to read the Army of the Goddamn, and he has the list. So you know who you are and you know that we love you. So please check in. And if you're struggling right now, please reach out because we all need to do this together. And please take care of yourself. I know the world is scary, but let's all as horror fans stick together and love each other and bring each other up. Big shout out to David Howard Thornton, friend of the show, and for him sticking his ground and continuously being one of the best dudes around. Thank you, David, for not only your performance as Art the Clown, but as just being just an absolutely fantastic person. So thanks, David, for all your support. And we will continue to support you through anything. We have a bunch of great shows coming up. Be prepared, check it out. And until we see you again next time, please start some fires and break some glass. Thank you.
See you later.